Hi there. Welcome back to Ask Amy. Before I dive into today's question, I wanted to let you know that the next Little School of Big Change course is beginning. It's February 6th. How many weeks is that? 3 weeks? Less than 4 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks from now, which is really soon. February 6th, it begins. It's the one of 2 times each year that I lead this course live. There's already an incredible group starting to join. So if you've been thinking about the school, if you want to come back through the school, check it out, littleschoolbigchange.com, February 6th. So I have a question today from Ashley. Ashley says, I've been growing so much in this understanding and have found myself observing more and more and allowing urges and feelings to come and go. I've listened to your podcast episode 224 several times as it resonates a lot with where I am in my anorexia turned binge eating habits. So episode 224, you can check it out, but I spoke about it on the free class that I taught last week, Welcoming What Arises. It's all about sitting with what's showing up as the most obvious, clear, natural path to freedom. So Ashley says, something that has come up for me recently when I'm observing my thoughts during an urge is that I'm asking myself things along the line of, okay, you're feeling this. What is it in a binge that you're looking for? And I often come up with a similar answer, excitement. Not that my life is boring, but that there are definitely areas I feel like I'm failing at or that are incredibly mundane. As I'm typing this, I'm even having insights just around the fact that why can't life just be mundane and boring? I feel like there's this huge breakthrough coming soon, but I'm also feeling like, why does binging have to be so attractive some days still? And I guess it's a scary thought for my brain to wrap around the fact that it's okay to not have that binge thrill and that I don't need to replace that thrill with something else, or that my life doesn't have to have some huge positive spin to replace it either. I'm not sure if any of this makes sense, and I'm also not sure what I'm looking for in a response, but I guess my mind is searching for an answer on what's next. And then she says, thank you for the work you do. My life will forever be changed from being in the Little School of Big Change and listening to your podcast. Okay, so this makes perfect sense, and it's incredibly, incredibly common. But here's the thing, Ashley. So this is how it feels and how it goes, is you're in that urge. You're just curious, like, what is this I love? Just I can feel that you're not looking for an answer so much, but you're just willing to poke and be curious. Like, what would a binge even do for me right now? And then you say, the answer I come up with is excitement. And it feels, and then that brings up all kinds of stuff about how exciting it is, and it's a thrill, and it adds something, and yet that also doesn't make sense, and all of that. And then you ask, why does binging have to be so attractive still some days? So here's the minor but enormous shift I want you to see in this, Ashley. You didn't come up with excitement as the answer. You're the one sitting there feeling this urge, knowing darn well that this doesn't make sense for you. There's nothing in this for you. For you to even have to be curious about that and ask the question, and what do I think this is going to do? And, you aren't then filling in and saying, oh, for sure, this adds excitement, and I need excitement because my life is boring. Like, that's not you. That's your mind. And I think this would be huge, Ashley, for you to see more and more that it's not, anyone who's been through this, like myself and tons of people, this is so common. When you get to the other side of it, whatever the habit is, binge eating, smoking, drinking, whatever, in it and on your way out of it, the mind is telling all kinds of stories about how desirable this is. It's attractive, it's exciting, life will be boring without it. What are you going to do with your time? Like, full on, tons and tons of stories about that. That has nothing to do with you, and it has nothing to do with your habit. This is across the board. Anyone who's ever been through any habit, and maybe you've been through other changes where you can recognize this. That is what a mind does when it's just trying to keep the status quo. It's not wise. It's not true at all. It's just a mind saying, ooh, but this adds something. Oh, but you want this. But you know better than that, Ashley. You've seen enough to kind of be able to see through that. So there is nothing, and here, I just want you to sit with this. I'm not telling you this as a fact, although I view it as a fact. You sit with this and be curious about it yourself. What if there is absolutely nothing attractive, exciting, beneficial in this habit for you. Now, your mind will tell you there is, but that's just what a mind says. And what if you can kind of start to see that? So in other words, what this turns into, instead of you sitting in this urge and being like, oh my gosh, it's still exciting, and why does it have to be attractive, and why does it feel so exciting? As if that's all true, you're sitting in an experience, you're sitting in some sensation and energy and some thoughts, and you're hearing a mind tell you how exciting this is. And maybe you're hearing some other thoughts come up around it, but you're onto that. You're just watching what's arising, and you're saying, oh, okay, feels really attractive right now. That's fine. That doesn't mean it is. It doesn't mean there's something in that you need to fix. Oh, and now I'm seeing that differently. You know, you're kind of behind the energy, just watching all this stuff arise, rather than sort of being in the story thinking, oh my gosh, I need to solve for this. I need to make this less exciting. Or why can't I just be okay with a mundane life? Like, that's you kind of in the story, trying to arrange the furniture in the story. And where I'm trying to point you or wanting you to see is that the whole thing is a story. The fact that it feels exciting and attractive is a story. All the actions the mind comes up with to try to help you out of that, all thought. So I hope that makes some sense. I just want you to feel what's arising with a little bit of detachment, a little bit of curiosity, a little bit of, this is not me. This is just what my mind is saying about this right now. And see how that goes for you. And again, please know for sure you are not the only person whose mind will tell them how exciting their habit or addiction is as it nears the end or at any point in it. I mean, I've thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people I've seen through this process. Incredibly, incredibly common. So that's just what a mind says. And the less you can take it personally, the better. So thanks so much for sending your question, Ashley. You don't have an issue with being bored or life being mundane or this being exciting. There's just a conversation happening that it's a very common universal conversation. Just keep seeing that. So thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, I love, Patricia, what you said here. Just watch your thoughts, but don't believe them. Exactly. We just want to be dumb and curious about everything that's showing up. And that just gives us so much space, and we get to see things in a totally different light. So if you guys have questions about anything at all, please send them to askamy@thelittleschoolofbigchange.com. And I'll be back here next Monday. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.